I chose to participate in SEED because I've heard great stories from other Hope athletes, and I wanted to get an experience of kind of finding my true self and digging deeper into my faith.
I actually first heard about SEED. It was like the first week of Spanish class, and I was with some hockey kids, and some people on their team went, and we were just talking about that. And then I talked with Margarone a little while later, and he was like, "Yeah, you should totally do it." And so I was like, "Yeah, I might as well. It's free to apply. I might as well apply and see what happens."
You hear everyone that comes back from the SEED trips, and they say how life-changing it was. And so hearing a bunch of those stories from not only my teammates but different athletes that I knew, I really was like, how could I give up on a chance to like not only go to a different country, but to serve like with God and through God and just come back like changed.
My roommate went to Zambia his summer after his freshman year, and I've heard about Africa that way, and I was like, oh, that sounds amazing. And oh, they're going to Kenya this year for the first time. So being able to have the flexibility to try that and just fully lean into what God had to offer, it seemed like an opportunity that was too good to pass up.
Like I knew faces of the people I was going with, but I don't think any of us really knew each other. But even after the first like meeting, we started to click and grow bonds, and it just kept growing throughout the entire trip. And then be able to bring that back to Hope, like you walk past them on the street, you say hi to them, and then it's like a glimpse of what happened in the DR, and you're like, I saw them like living out their true like God-given potential, and now I see them like reciprocating it on Hope's campus, so it's really cool.
It completely caught me off guard with how close we could get in only about 10 days. It was a great way to meet people that I've been going to school with for a few years. All we had to do was go across the ocean, and now we're great friends.
Going in, I didn't really know anyone, so I was very excited but also nervous at the same time, but immediately the connection was there. We knew we were in this trip together and that we were going to be vulnerable with one another, so that made it way easier. And like from the moment, like the first day, we were very close with one another.
Go Sports in the DR, they do really cool stuff, and they especially use sports as a unifier, and so they really have an impact on the community there, like bringing in these kids to be able to play sports and just keep them off the streets.
Sports outreach, that ministry was amazing. They were amazing at welcoming us. We would do devotionals before our ministry with the kids.
Push the Rock was a very unique organization, I would say. It was very sports-based, so we went to a lot of elementary schools, ran sports clinics, and I think my favorite part about this organization is they were very compassionate.
A lot of these kids were learning especially the younger kids, were learning the skills for the first time, like hitting a softball or like hitting a volleyball. And so even those small things that oftentimes I figured we kind of take for granted, they had so much value in them, and like it was just those small things that you would do that caused so much joy. It really resonated with me.
I knew a little bit of Spanish, but I didn't need to be fluent in it for all of us to come together, and we did a huge group of pickup 7-on-7 basketball.
They might not have the best English, we don't have the best Swahili, but as soon as you put us in front of a chessboard, everybody would be very enthralled with what was going on, so we played a lot of chess as well.
I'm going to be an elementary education teacher, so I love kids, I love little kids, and I went into this trip just praying to God that I hope I have connections with these kids here, because I wasn't going to change their life, they were going to change mine, and I truly believe that's what happened.
Traveling into the slums was an undescribable experience where they don't have water. Their goats and their cattle are eating trash off the streets.
I don't think we truly realize how important clean water is.
It really put into perspective how like minuscule our water issues are. Sometimes it's, oh, I forgot to put ice in my water. But for them, it's like they can't drink their water because there's so many diseases in it. And I think having access to clean water really helps them spend time doing other things, like caring for their family or going to work, or even kids going to school, being the ability to go to school and get education.
Yeah, for some of these people, it was the first time they saw clean water, especially for these kids, and It was just really exciting to see. It's definitely very emotional, just because for someone to not have clean water is very upsetting. So it was very, very fortunate that I was able to be a part of something to give a community clean water.
Having a space where like you can practice it, but you can also like look at others who are so good at showing God's love really helped me again show God's love, which is amazing. And I'm so glad I was able to experience that, because now it's a lot easier for me to be willing to take those first steps and reach out to someone who I think might be struggling.
We're all athletes, like our lives are very busy and stuff, but like going on the trip, you can kind of take a step back and like lean into what God has planned for you.
Being able to experience God through that ministry and see how he affects other people in great poverty was a transformative experience for my faith. And now coming back, I feel just like I have a more solid foundation on my faith.
I know it can be scary to go out of the country and do these mission trips, but it's about growth, and this was definitely a growth experience that I was blessed to be able to go through. Just creating those friendships and going into a new country, experiencing things outside of a small town is definitely, I encourage people to sign up for and do it.
Everyone has your back, like everyone wants what's best for you, and coming back, you'll realize like you're not only the strength with like people who went with you, but your strength in your relationship with God will just grow like 10 times.
If you're even thinking about going on a seed trip, the only thing that's holding you back is yourself. You just need to trust in God, trust in your friends, and just lean forward, and what you will get out of it is a life-changing experience. And there's no better way for me to describe it than for you to just go and try it for yourself.